Congratulations! You just got a bounty.
Quiet beasts left.
Did you hear something?
Begone, bandit. Mother sent you? It is good she can't see me trussed up like a sheep. The bandits were more challenging than I expected. He could have killed a few when she scouted the cave, but no, I must always be tested. You thought her a poor mewling widow? Pah! Mother is not entirely what she seems. She warned me to wait and watch before approaching Hazak's Hollow. I have much to learn. I sought to avenge my father's memory, but was captured by bandits. Mother saw my capture and sent you here to assist. Next, you untie me and we kill Hazak for his crimes. Simple, you see? Then when you free me, I'll fight Hazak alone and will likely die. Hazak will poison more families with skooma, another will swear revenge, be captured by bandits, and wait for death in this cave. Or we can kill Hazak. Still simple, yes? Good. Now, untie my bonds so we can look for the key to Hazak's I can hardly believe it. I'm free!
Time is an important part of life.
You don't have the will for this, but I do, cub.
How can I help you?
How may I serve?
speak.
Yes? It does not matter.
Got plenty of goods fresh off the junk pile. I'm always willing to bargain. Oh, as long as you've got rubbish to trade, that is.
Flyboy 33, Zone, anyone want to duel for Endeavor? Flyboy 33, Zone, thanks. Lord _ infamous _ 98, Zone, tie. Tutters 1, Zone, sharing recollection WB quest. Mr. Frank 76, Zone, Courier Grainier's note. Mr. Frank 76, Zone, Echo Near. Mr. Frank 76, Zone, Legion Journal.
You're not planning to attend the Valente Vineyards auction, are you? It isn't just... What would Count Verandis do in this situation? You're not planning to attend the... It isn't just any auction. It's run by and for vampires. Being a vampire myself, I can't help but wonder why Lord Gallio Valente, vineyard owner and vampire coven leader, wants to sell wine to other vampires. It's not like we partake of the stuff. Not exactly. I was hunting a violent vampire gang called the Terrors when I found an invitation to the auction. Inviting vampires to such an event is strange enough, but offering this Vesper Valente vintage? That has me concerned. Will you help me? First, let's look around the vineyard. I want to examine the grapes they grow here. Besides, it's a good idea to get a feel for the grounds before we head into the auction.
Gub 1J, Zone, Runebox, Oaks Promise Body Marks.
Right behind you, friend.
Gub 1J, Zone, WTS 10K.
An injured field hand.
This
Let's
is
find out
no
what
place to wander aimlessly. Ugliest hounds Drovir has ever seen. This one just finished checking the new grapes and was on his way to the auction when it came out of nowhere. Ripped up Drovir's leg real good. Drovir thought the request was strange too, but Lord Valente insisted, and Lady Valente specifically told Sentry Helvius to let the servants in, even if we didn't have the fancy invitations. If you're here for the auction, you should head inside.
It appears the grapes did not agree with this death hound. Let's look more closely at those grapes. The scent wafting off those grapes. It's tantalizing, curious. Let's talk. Just as Count Ferrandis taught me, there is always something to learn if you simply pay attention. The field hand was attacked by a death hound, a sure indication of vampiric activity. And he provided a wealth of information. Don't you agree? So you were listening. Good. The field hand described Gallio as different when he returned. He developed a new grape to make him richer and more powerful, and he recently married a high elf, but the marriage already seems troubled. The grapes were developed using alchemy. They've been infused with blood, and I find the aroma tantalizing. But I dare not try one. Look what consuming the grapes did to the death hound. Our next step is to attend the auction. You shall be my guest. The field hand assumed you were a guest of the auction, and the invitation did say to bring my most favored mortal servant. If anyone asks, you're the blood servant of Master Bogvir, the vampire I shall pretend to be and whose invitation I carry. The invitation indicates we're to head to the walled garden just east of the manor. I suppose that's where they're letting the guests gather prior to the start of...
Halt! Your invitation, please.
Right. Here you are.
Welcome, Master Bogvir, and guest. I'll escort you to Lord Valente, this way.
Totally unnecessary. I'll find him. Thanks. Just a moment. Let's talk first. So, do I look like a Master Bogvir? Probably not. But we work with the tools we're given. Let's split up and mingle. Talk to servants, guests, whoever's willing to chat. Anything that can tell us
Unseen
the true
_ soldier
purpose of
51
this
zone
auction.
WTS 500K whisper if
Vampires
interested.
don't need wine.
Unseen _
Especially
soldier
made from
51
grapes that
zone
apparently
diagram
poisoned
Alien
a
crystal
death
star.
hound. Try not to come off as too curious, though. We're supposed to be guests here, after all. I am. But as soon as we walked in, I was hit with sudden pangs of hunger. Not unlike when I smelled those grapes, but much stronger. Luckily, I carry a flask of blood for times of need. I'll just find an out-of-the-way spot to take a sip.
Can I offer you a glass of our new Vesper Valente?
Certainly. I'm very curious about this wine.
Really? You're the first of Lord Valente's guests to accept the wine. I hope you enjoy it. I'd offer you a glass, but your friend just took the last one. I wasn't expecting that. None of the other guests I've served this evening even tried it. Only their attendants and servants. It is. The vineyard's latest vintage, Vesper Valente. Lord Valente did tell us that his guests probably wouldn't want to try it before the auction, but that I should freely provide it to their attendants and servants. I have. Lord Valente was generous enough to let all the vineyard workers and servants have a glass before the guests arrived. It was salty and crisp, with a slight metallic aftertaste. Something to do with Lord Valente's alchemical process, I think.
Is this Vesper Valente really as special as it sounds?
Oh, Lord Valente is certainly proud of his new creation.
Wouldn't that be something?
You there! I am bored, and my hounds are hungry.
Will the auction start soon, or must we continue this Colovian dance of manners and pleasantries while my gold sits unspent? Ah, apologies. I mistook you for a Valente servant. Lord Valente is clever, and if the wine accomplishes a fraction of what he claims, the waiting will have been worth it. But I would prefer to simply buy what I want, and not deal with an auction. Haven't you tried it yet? You really must sample the vintage for yourself. I suggest you find a glass quickly, before the auction begins. All of the servants and attendants must have that wine flowing through their veins for the main event.
I heard Lord Valente and his new bride loathe each other.
Why would he marry a mortal? It's beneath him.
Ah, welcome. I'm Lord Gallio Valente, the humble proprietor of Valente Vineyards and Winery. You? Bogvir, of course. Where is my old friend? Still upset about that little incident? No matter. I was hoping to clear things up before the auction got underway. Send him over to talk to me the next time you see him. Oh, don't trouble yourself. Any guest of Bogvir's is welcome. Enjoy yourself, and do make sure to try the wine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare for the auction.
Another one of my husband's guests. No, you're either an attendant or a servant, I'd wager. Who brought you to my husband's little affair? Pray tell. Master Bogvir. Is that the name he uses now? You know, he bears a striking resemblance to an old acquaintance of mine. In fact, I'm sure of it. How is Fenorian? And why has he come to Valente Vineyard? No? And why don't I believe you? No, don't worry.
The Tank 333
I have no
zone,
desire
macabre
to
vintage
reveal
bow.
Fenorian's deception to my husband. Not before I learn what's going on here, the same as you.
The Tank
Be so
333
kind as to let
zone,
Fenorian
macabre vintage
know
inferno
I'd like
staff.
to speak to him when he's free.
The Tank 333 zone, macabre vintage lightning staff. The Tank 333 zone, WTS.
This wine is specifically meant for the mortals here, not the vampires. So why are the vampires bidding on it? And why is my flask doing little to curb my rising hunger? Tell me you learned something more, my friend. I'm sorry? Did you say Lady Valente's name is Ursilia? Oh, she's that Ursilia.
The Tank 333 zone, 40k
Maybe
for staff,
we can
20k
sneak
for
out
bow.
the way we came in. Right. We do need to figure out what's going on here. All right, I'll stay and talk to Ursilia. You head into the manor and see if you can find Lord Valente's office. Something in there might tell us more about the purpose of this wine. That's a story for another time, friend. Let's stay focused. You see what you can find in the manor, while I talk to Lady Valente. Don't worry. We can talk more later. In the meantime, ledgers, journals, letters, alchemical notebooks. Anything that gives us some idea of Lord Gallio Valente's plans for the wine. Vampires can't drink it, but they're the ones invited to bid on it.
You again? What are you doing in my husband's office? You and Fenorian. Never in the right place at the right time. So, did you find what you were looking for? Share it with me and maybe I won't call down to the winery for my husband's army of mercenaries. Let me see that journal. By the stars. He killed his own father, and he plans to kill me. Oh, he's a cretin and a monster. And yes, pouring wine into people just so you can eat them and gain unnatural power is pretty bad too. Damn it! I drank the wine! I suspected something was amiss. Since I arrived, we haven't consummated our marriage, and he spends his time down in the winery, locked in his alchemy laboratory with his mercenaries. Plus, he covets my family's fortune. But a vampire... makes sense. This vineyard could be a motherlode in the right hands. My hands, friend of Fenorian, not my husband's. I assume you're here to stop him? Help Fenorian finish the task, and I'll forgive him for the affront he visited upon me and my family. Make sure you do. I have no intent to serve as a wine glass for my husband.
Ursilia, I suppose I owe you an explanation.
Of course you do, but I don't care. Just talk to your friend and deal with my husband.
All right, if you say so. Lord Valente is well and truly into the auction now, so we have a bit of time. I never expected to find Ursilia here with you, though. What did you discover? And what did she mean by deal with her husband? Interesting. He really spells it out, doesn't he? Alchemically enhanced mushrooms used as fertilizer for alchemically treated grape seeds. And the hunger. I wasn't losing control, it's an effect of the grapes. Well, that's a relief. That does seem to be the general idea. If we allow this to spread, the ramifications will be staggering. Even relatively peaceful vampires might be tempted to start killing out of hand. We need to stop this. What were you and Ursilia discussing? Oh, yes. I do suppose I owe her for that. I'm no hired assassin, but I do make a habit out of disposing of dangerous vampires. We will do what is necessary to end this threat. Nothing more, nothing less. And that begins with destroying the wine. Head downstairs and scout the area. I'll follow along shortly. I need to try to make things right with Ursilia. And maybe I have something in my alchemy kit to deal with the wine in her system. Just the smell of it makes me hungry. We were betrothed. A marriage arranged by our families. There might have been some affection there, but it was mostly a business agreement. When I became a vampire, I just left. I thought it would be a mercy. Well, that's a very personal question. I mean no offense, but I'm not inclined to share it with someone I only just met. Perhaps someday. I hope you understand. No, I didn't want to hurt anyone I knew. Ursilia, my family. So I simply left. Eventually, Count Verandis found me and made me part of House Ravenwatch. Rivenspire is a long way from Somerset, and Westfield is farther still. I never expected this. I'm not going to go out of my way to kill Gallio, if that's what you're asking. We do need to destroy his operation, though. This elixir turned wine is too dangerous to distribute to aggressive vampire clans. What happens after that is up to him. Ursilia, before we talk, let me see if I've got anything that will flush the wine from your system.
I'm not drunk, Fenorian.
I provided Ursilia with... You lead while I look around. Valente's journal said he had a coven of vampires. We should expect a fight.
When the time comes, I want my pick of servants.
Captives, and apparently under the influence of the wine. Friend, let's speak. These workers must be some of the subjects Gallio mentioned in his journal. They're on the verge of turning into blood fiends. I might be able to mix a counteragent with the proper ingredients. Grape pulp left over from the Vesper Valente wine, wax flower petals to hasten the recovery process, and imperial oak tannins to make the remedy effective topically. Find those items around the winery while I make preparations.
line.
wine-sodden mortals and become more powerful? Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're back. Did you find everything we need? Once I've brewed the counteragent, pick up the bucket and splash the remedy over our poor patients. It's not the most dignified way to administer medicine, but it works without putting either of you at risk. And that should do it. You're free to administer the cure. Looks like the effects are already subsiding.
You saved us. Please, you need to stop him. Thank you for helping us. Please tell me you're also here to stop Lord Valente. We really thought things were looking up. Lord Valente had such grand ideas for the vineyard and winery. He even asked us to try a new vintage he was working on. We felt so honored. Then we started to get sick, and he locked us down here. Yes, it's right through those doors. He's growing weird mushrooms and has all kinds of alchemical equipment. Destroy his equipment and burn the mushrooms. That should put an end to his vile experiments.
We need to destroy that laboratory. You scout ahead while I work on freeing these people. I'll meet you there. Right behind you, friend.
There was something wrong about you.
You won't ruin all my hard work!
This is it. The laboratory. We need to destroy it all. Let me explain, friend. Valente's alchemical equipment is truly impressive. It's a shame we have to destroy it, but we need to make sure no one else can continue his experiments. These vats turn the mushrooms into a fertilizer for the grapes. Increase the flames under the vats by adjusting the valves. That will increase the pressure. After that, set fire to the mushroom planters, then get clear before the vats explode. A part of me hates to see valuable equipment go to waste, but we can't allow more of the Vesper Valente to be created. Now come on, let's do this. Turn up the flame valves as high as they'll go. I'll get rid of these research notes. Now, the mushrooms. A few well-placed torches should ignite the entire harvest. That's it. Let's get out of here. Celia, about your husband.
Not now, Fenorian. I have more important matters. As I was saying, I'll compensate double wages for all who remain. With your expertise, we'll revive the traditional methods and be producing excellent wine in no time.
That was excellent work, friend. We destroyed Lord Gallio's laboratory and managed to rescue the workers he experimented on. There might be some ramifications over remaining Vesper Valente, but it won't become the sweeping problem I feared. We didn't have to. Ursilia told me she interrupted the auction and told Lord Gallio in a voice loud enough for all to hear that the Raven Watch was on the premises. One mention of House Ravenwatch and the invited vampires fled the estate. Perhaps a few bottles were carried off, but none of them had time to load any casks or crates before they fled. I'll track them down eventually. And before I take my leave, I'll make sure the remaining vintage is destroyed. Ursilia is set on taking control and turning the vineyard and winery into a profitable enterprise. I have no doubt she'll succeed. We wrecked Ursilia. I suppose you're off on... Eventually. After I make sure any remnants of Lord Gallio's vile experiments are taken care of here. Then I may check on the auction guests that scattered and see that any absconded bottles of Vesper Valente are dealt with. There's always something.
I suppose I should thank you. Even Fenorian came through for me this time. My husband's foul operation is finished, and his coven... is that really what he called it? We'll scatter before long. Now begins the hard work of restoring this vineyard. Much like he still is. Always a perfect gentleman. Our first moment alone after our families arranged our engagement, I told him to drop any pretense of romantic interest. Oh, how he blushed. Pity those pale cheeks won't ever blush again. Fine with it. I was relieved. In families as wealthy as ours, marriage isn't like some Breton romance novel. It's business. Love never makes for good business. But I never expected him to just disappear like that. It was rude and hurtful. Obviously, that change occurred right before the marriage. But probably not. If he hadn't disappeared without a trace, his family would have disowned him. Marrying a pauper would not have been good business. I am pleased he seems happy, though. I suppose I should thank you. A lot of hard work, I imagine. I must retain as many of the competent and knowledgeable vineyard workers as I can. Then, we need to destroy any lingering evidence of my husband's experiments. After that, we can start producing delicious wine again. People talk. If Fenorian abandoning me taught me anything, it's that everyone loves a scandal. I've gone through...
Thank you again for saving us down in the winery. I thought if I ever got out of that cage, I'd leave and never come back. But Lady Valente offered quite the sum to stay. Maybe things really will be different under new management.
What Lord Gallio was doing, his father must be rolling in his grave. Drovir has agreed to stay on and work for Lady Valente, destroy these vile grapes and plant our usual seeds. Can the vineyard be salvaged? This one hopes so.
Thank you, Traveler. I can't thank you enough for getting us out of there.
Florian here seems to be suffering the worst from our ordeal. I think all of us will need time to fully recover. Thank you, stranger. You and your friend really came through for us.
can I help you?
Hello there.
Anything I can do? Care to bargain?
May I be of service?
Proxy Zealot, Zone, anyone for Baleful Bluffs? Your AUSSIMT, Zone, nice work.
Pretend you never saw me, Traveler. I don't want to bother you. I'm looking to get away from the war in Cyrodiil, but no, I'm all right. I mean, I'm not, but it's better for both of us if you just moved on. That's why I'm out here. I've got nowhere to go. The Legion watches the city for deserters, and they consider anyone who fights on the side of one of the alliances to be a traitor and a criminal. I dare not even go back to my family. I'm not sure. I need to leave these lands. Maybe board a ship in Anvil and go somewhere where I won't be recognized. But we shouldn't discuss this. The less you know about my plans, the better off you'll be. I'm going to find a ship out of Anvil. Perhaps we'll meet again in the West, Traveler.
Hello, my friend. Would you be interested in helping the great adventurer Narcissus Dren? He's busy exploring a nearby Ayleid ruin, and I fear for his safety. The noted explorer Narcissus Dren has gone to investigate the ruins of Wendir, and I fear he may be in trouble. He left some time ago to procure an Ayleid relic, the emblem of the last king. Could you go and help him? He will reward your efforts. Find Narcissus and help him recover the emblem from Wendir. Here, let me mark it on your map. He had some Vodalf allies, but I do not trust them. My dear Narcissus is brilliant but impulsive, and needs someone to protect him from his own enthusiasm. I can tell you a little about the area, but I'm afraid full information on the task ahead should come from Narcissus Dren himself. Please, go seek him out. You're unfamiliar with the great Narcissus Dren? Surely you've encountered his works at some point. Narcissus Dren and the Draugr Dilemma? Narcissus Dren and the Well of Gold? Of course! But don't mistake him for a mere scrivener. He is a man with a penchant for ruins, a fondness for levers, and an appetite for adventure that would rival a sensuous hunger. I'm one of Narcissus Dren's devoted personal assistants. Perhaps the most devoted. I compile his research, organize his travel. I can tell you a little about the area, but I'm afraid full information on the task ahead should come from Narcissus Dren himself.
All you can,
Please,
Zone.
go seek
Need help
him
with World
out.
Boss at Broken Path Cave at northern part of map.
The ancient elves that ruled before the Empire built keeps, crypts, and fortifications throughout the land. This was one of the last of them before their kingdoms fell. Yes, but I can tell you a little about the...
Hush! Can't you see I'm busy blending into my surroundings? Elf Beta, of course. Yes, I could use some help. First, you must know I am the noted explorer Narcissus Dren. You know the name, of course. World-famous adventurer and author and all that. Things were going along swimmingly when, out of nowhere, my associates, a band called the Recollection, turned on me. I barely escaped with my life. Now I need someone to recover the emblem of the last king. Yes, one of the symbols of office of King Dinar, last of the Ayleid rulers. I thought the Recollection would be interested in the discovery. Apparently they were too interested and chased me out. But we're going back and will retrieve the emblem. We must search these surface ruins for two types of things. My own irreplaceable notes, and any information of the Recollection's doings. Those wood elves must have some papers about here. Mission orders, reports, or correspondence. I should never have mentioned the emblem of the last king to the Recollection. They sent a large contingent of helpers and drove me off. The emblem was part of the regalia of the last Ayleid king, Lelorian Dinar. You know about King Dinar? Oh, have you not read my books? When the last of the Ayleid kingdoms fell, its people and treasures were scattered throughout Tamriel. The emblem was one of the symbols of King Dinar, the last ruler of the Ayleids. Indeed. I'd heard tales that the last king's 5 devoted retainers gathered here prior to his demise. The emblem of the last king is sure to be here, protected by the traps set by these 5 loyal retainers.
All you can, zone, anyone free to help? I'll send group invite. Black_Ghost15, zone, X. Black_Ghost15, zone, send invite. To all you can, what's up? Group, all you can. I'll trade for any macrober. All you can, whispers, teleport to me. Group, all you can, thanks. Group, all you can, any macrober. Black underscore ghost 15, zone, fragment of the Fate Eater. Black underscore ghost 15, zone, Alien refuge dagger. Group, all you can, thank you both again. Group, black underscore ghost 15, no macrober. To all you can, macrabe sword. To all you can, macrober vintage greatsword is what I got. To all you can, macabre vintage greatsword. All you can, whispers, thanks for the offer. I can't use your set sign, you're a low level. Dance with Wolves 8, Zone, help with Broken Path K please.